Hey, Advent, this is Alan Bugg, the Executive Director of the church, along with David Schatzberger, our Worship Director of Worship and Arts. We have some exciting news. We continue to pray for wisdom and direction as we guide the church through these unprecedented times. And I want to share some things that happened just this week. On Wednesday, we called a special session meeting to discuss where and how we can enhance our church and provide for unity within our church. And I want to give you some exciting news. In that, we made a decision to move the church to one unified service beginning July the 26th, 2020. Now listen, we analyzed all the statistics, all the prudent information available to us, but more importantly, we prayed about what God wanted us to do as He is the head of our church. We asked Him for guidance, and He gave it to us. So we're asking each of you to be in unity with us as we design this service, this unified service, to provide the best experience for everyone involved. Now, again, we plan on starting this July 26th, but I'm sure there's lots of questions out there. And we'll have a frequently asked question page for you. But in the meantime, Schatz, tell me, as we're thinking through this, what are some of the questions you might think people have?
Sure. So if we're starting this on July 26th, how long will we have this unified worship experience?
That's great. Our intent is, again, it's an experiment that we're going to try through this summer. So we're going to take it all the way through August the 30th. But during that time, we'll be assessing where we are and what makes most sense for our church.
Awesome. Now, what time will we worship?
That's another great church question about when we're going to meet. 10:30 a.m., Sunday mornings, 10:30 a.m.
Awesome. We're asking families to come to worship and worship together. So what about the kids? Will we offer them anything else?
Absolutely. Great question again. So number one, we're going to have Lindsay Hall. We've already set it up for social distancing and sanitize and cleanse for your kids' safety. Any child that is between the ages of 3 and going into the 5th grade, we will have a worship experience for them that's like no other. That'll happen during the worship service. But for those of you that are parents for children 3 and under 3, we're going to have 2 rooms set up where you can take your child. You can actually watch the service live while you're taking care of your child right on campus the time the services are happening.
Wow, that's awesome. But what about that other stuff that often happens on Sunday mornings, like adult Bible studies and Sunday school?
Another great question. So once again, during the session meeting, we formed a reopening team that will make decisions about what parts of their church to reopen. At this point, we felt like it's prudent and best for us not to reopen Sunday school through the summer. So those of you that are in Sunday school and Sunday school teachers, we're asking that you continue to do your classes via Zoom.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, that's a lot of information, but I've been asking all the questions. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, as we're moving to this one service, think about the things that it's going to enable us to do, things that might be enhanced for us to be. What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's going to allow us to pool our volunteers and for maximum coverage on the campus. It's going to allow us to maximize our volunteers' time because now we only have one service to cover. We will also experience more energy and buzz in worship as we bring the family back together and as we emphasize unity as the body of Christ. And finally, we will offer an enhanced celebration of worship on this campus.
Wow, I love all of that. But you said something I'm sure is going to promote a question, and that is celebrate enhanced worship. So when we think about that, what is the worship experience going to look like when we come back to this one service?
Well, that's a great question, but let me reframe it. Instead of starting with the what, let's start with the who. We come here to this place to worship the one true God and His Son, Jesus Christ, our Redeemer. So after we reframe it with the who, let's reframe it next to the how are we going to worship. We're going to worship in spirit and truth with enthusiasm and excellence.
That's really good. So I'm sure somebody's going to be asking, what about style?
Absolutely. That's a great question. That does lead us to the what. As we worship together, you will experience current favorite songs and classic hymns.
Awesome.
And we're going to worship and sing in spirit and in truth with enthusiasm and excellence to create an offering that is worthy of our one true God.
Oh, wow, that really is exciting. I'm looking forward to it. So just to summarize, we're going to be hosting one weekly unified service that's going to provide more energy, more efficiency, and more unity as the body of Christ. So our prayer and hope is this, that you will support not only your church, but also its leadership as we are navigating these unprecedented times. We ask for your prayers. We ask for your support. We also ask for your patience with us as we are looking toward Jesus to lead us. And we're excited to follow his lead. Continue to stay tuned to our social media and your email as we continue to provide you updated information. Thank you, Advent. We'll see you the 26th.